everybody. This is the lecture for designing a research project related to daily life. This is the lecture that follows the types of qualitative research. So now that you already learned about the nature of research and qualitative research, you are now ready to learn how to identify a research problem, a research topic, and a research title. Because at the end of this lecture, you will be proposing your own research topic and research title. So remember that the goal of research is not just to study people, places, and events. Your research should also aim to discover new practices, strategies, or techniques in solving a problem. That's why when you propose a research topic, it should be able to at least offer alternative solutions to the issue or to the problem that you have identified. Now, when you decide to conduct a research, you always begin with a research problem, and that research problem will lead you to a specific topic to focus on. So it's important that we are aware of our surroundings, of our home, our school, our community, our society, what is happening around me that I can address in my research. And then once we have a research problem, it will be easier for us to construct a set of research questions. The research questions lecture will be provided for you after this lecture. So I will have a separate discussion on writing research questions. But for now, this lecture is about how to identify a research problem, formulate a research topic, and formulate your research title or working title. Let's have an example. So for example, I am an architecture student in UST and I am taking practical research 1 and my professor told me to identify a research problem that I can observe in my school. So the research problem that I identified is that there is a need to build a safer, comfortable, and helpful walk or transfer of students from place to place in the UST campus. So that is the research problem that I identify. Kulang or kailangang magtayo ng isang mas safe and mas komportableng walk or transfer ng mga estudyante sa UST. So if that's my research problem, look at the research topic, the construction of a covered pathway in the UST campus. So my question is, does the research topic relate to the research problem? Yes or no? Yes. So that is how we identify a research topic. It should be related to the research problem and at the same time, it should address the research problem. And then let's look at the research questions. For the research questions, we have general question and specific question. So the general question should be from the word itself, general. It means that the question should address the entire research topic. However, the specific questions are questions that are, again, specific and it covers the details, the other details, the further details of your research topic. Now, I don't want you to read everything. I just want you to analyze how the questions are constructed. Okay, let's have underline the WH questions used in qualitative research. So as what you have observed, these questions are not answerable by yes or no. Okay, so when you construct a research question, it should be in the form of WH questions. Most of the time, we use the what, we also use when, we also use why or how in qualitative research questions. Let's have another example. Another example that I observed, another problem rather that I observed is that we should increase our own media literacy in order to address the negative effects of social media on a person's body image. So that's the problem that I identified. Now, if you look at the research topic, increasing media literacy to prevent body shaming. Now, again, should the research topic address the research problem? Yes or no? Of course, it should address the research problem. It should be anchored or it should be related on the research problem. So, huwag kayong lalayo sa topic nyo doon sa research problem nyo. Kailangan lagi silang magkatulad, lagi silang magkakambal. Okay, kasi the topic should be related or should be addressing the research problem. Look at the questions. So again, WH questions ang ginamit to make sure that the research questions are qualitative. Remember, when we say qualitative research, the data that we need revolve around people's experiences, ideas, beliefs. So, in order to get those, we need to ask questions that are not answerable by yes or no. Instead, we should use WH questions, such as here in the example. Another example, the research problem that I observe nowadays is that students spend more money and they find it difficult to save. Some research topic would be budgeting strategies of parents and students. Again, the research topic should be related to the research problem. And I have here a research title. Don't worry, in the latter part of this lecture, I will teach you how to construct your research title. Another example, the rise of reality TV shows such as Talent Search, and then the topic is what do students think of talent search contests as seen on TV? Now, when you draft your research problem and research topic, you have to remember the following. Number one, you should be interested to the subject matter of your research. Anything that sparks your interest can motivate you to conduct your research. Number two, the topic is available or researchable in the internet. So it doesn't matter if your research sounds very exciting, and but if if it is not if it is not researchable, if that topic is very narrow and it does not allow you to get enough information available in the internet, then what's the point, right? So you have to consider the researchability or availability of sources when you think of your own topic. Of course, your topic should be timely and relevant. we already studied this during the lecture on the characteristics of research, right? Your topic should be applicable to the current condition of our community, our school, our society, right? 2025, 2024, 2023, still acceptable as long as it's timely and relevant to our present conditions. Another strategies that you may consider, according to the following people, number one is to look into your own personal experiences. So when you think of a research problem and research topic, you may also consider your own personal experiences, the personal experiences of the people around you, the people you know, your family, your friends, your classmates. You may also consider that as part of your research topic. Read literature in your field of study. So when you find it hard to really think about or think of a research topic or a research problem, it helps to read sources in the internet, read news articles, read blogs, in order for you to really think about your research topic. You may also reflect on the existing issues in society. So if it helps that you're aware of what's happening around us, that may help you come up with a research problem and a research topic. Topics to be avoided. Again, you're just senior high school. You're still gonna experience a lot of research subjects in the future. So we may want to set aside the following topics. Number one, controversial topics, highly technical subjects, hard to investigate subjects, too narrow subject or too broad subject. Okay, so don't worry. Once you propose research topics to me, I will try my best to help you refine your topics to make it not controversial, to make it not highly technical, to make it easy to investigate, and to make it specific, but not too specific. Sources of research topics. So again, if you really cannot find it hard to think of a research topic by yourself, you may use the following sources. Examples. So look at the first column, possible area of research. We have 1 to 5 sources, and then possible topics. So you may use social problems in our society. You may use your knowledge or your if you're exposed to a lot of books, journals, magazines, newspapers, or documentaries, that may also help you come up with a research topic. If you're exposed to social media, that may give you an idea as well. If you're if you would like to visit libraries, school libraries, that may also help. Or if you like attending or listening to seminars, lectures, podcasts, that may also give you an idea of for your own research topic. Now, there are times that our topic is too general or it's too broad, so we have to narrow it down to become more specific. Number one is consider looking at just one aspect or facet. So for example, your topic is eating disorders, but there are a lot of eating disorders. So you may just focus on one type of eating disorder. And then if you would want to study the effects of eating disorder to a person's well-being, when we say well-being, it's too general, it's too broad. So you may just focus on which aspect of well-being are we talking about? Are we talking about self-confidence? Uh, are we talking about mental health? Are we talking about how a person handles their relationships? So, which aspect of well-being are you talking about? So, you may narrow it down to just that. You have to consider looking at one aspect of your topic. Second strategy is you identify a specific place and time. So when you want to really narrow down your topic, you may want to focus on a specific place and time. So narrow it down to, for example, grade 11 sports students only enrolled in school year 2025-2026. So that makes it more specific. You may also consider focusing on a specific type of people, place, or phenomenon. So for example, when you say technology, technology is too broad. You know, there are a lot of technologies already here. So you may focus on just, for example, mobile phones. Okay, and if you want to study the impact of technology to people or to the relationships of people, when we say relationships of people, it's also too broad, it's also too general. So, what kind of relationship are we talking about? You may focus on family, so the effects of using mobile phones to the relationship of the family members. So that may become a little more narrow, a little more specific if you focus on a specific type of people, place, or phenomenon. What else? You may also brainstorm ideas with me as your research teacher. You may ask help from me or your group mates as well. You may also conduct readings. You know, if you like reading sources, then that may help you narrow down a specific topic. You may also use keywords that serve as central ideas and then try to think of synonyms or alternate terms for them. Let's have an example. For example, the broad topic that you're thinking of is environmental protection. And then you may think of the synonym. What could be an alternate term for environmental protection? So we have here conservation. Now, in order for us to really narrow down your topic, now that you have your synonyms with you, what are the other what subtopics can we get when we say environmental conservation? So maybe you can focus on environmental policies or analysis of the policies to the environment. Okay, analysis of the impact of those policies to the environment. So something like that. You think of synonyms or alternate terms to help you narrow down a specific topic. So if you look at the second picture below, so I have here conservation, I have here environmental policies, and if you look at the more narrowed topic below, environmental policies of Pasig City, that is a specific place, and then a specific time before, during, and after COVID-19 crisis. So that may help you narrow down your topic. Okay, so let's have another example. Broad topic, early pregnancy. Narrow topic among senior high school students. Okay, and then a more narrow topic would be prevention of, and then you may make it more specific by saying senior high school students in Rizal High School. So that becomes more narrowed, more specific. And then I want you to study the rest of the examples below. Okay, I have here examples for each strand. So we have Humes. This is the general, the first column. We make it narrowed down in the second column, and then we make it a little more narrow, a little more specific in the third column. So you may use this as your guide when I ask you to propose your own research topic. I also have here I also have here sports related. So the first column is the general topic. The second column is the narrow topic. And the third column is a more narrow or more specific topic. We also have here tourism related. So first column, the topic. The second column, the narrow topic. And the third column is more narrow or more specific topic. So you may use these examples as your guide when the time that by the time that I ask you to propose your own research topic. Now, after identifying a research problem and a research topic, we will try to construct a research title or a working title. Since hindi pa naman siya agad ma-approve, we can just call it working title. Now, research title is the most important element of your research because number one, of course, that's the first thing that the audience will read. At the same time, your research title should clearly express the problem that you're studying. It also encapsulates the main thought or main idea of your entire paper. Most of the time, it should also reflect the variables under study, such as the respondents, where, when, something like that. It may be expressed in few words, but it it should also be short enough to describe the contents and the purpose of your research. And of course, your title should be informative. Now, these are some of the most of the components of your research title. The what, the subject or the topic that you're studying, the where, the place or the locality where the research is conducted, the who, which refers to the participants or respondents of your study, and of course the when, the time period. So you may construct your research title including the for, but it's not required. It's not necessary. Let's have the following examples. So here, if you look at the examples, hindi naman kailangan na nandyan yung what, where, who, and when. So it's really up to how you construct your research title, make it more catchy, make it more creative, but at the same time, it should clearly express what you're studying and yung purpose ng research mo. So, hindi naman kailangan nandyan yung what, where, who, and when. Pero yun nga, it really depends on how you construct your research title. Okay, so another example, I added another column, the fourth column, sample research title. So you may use this as a guide when I ask you to create your own. So I have here Humes related, and then we have sports related research titles sa fourth column. So you may use this as a guide. And then we also have tourism related. Okay, so again, when you construct your research title, you may include the who, what, where, when, but it's not required. At the same time, you want your research title to be creative, to be catchy, to be interesting enough, right? Without compromising the purpose and the topic of your research. Okay, written work by group. So you may use the table in answering. So this is by group. Set A, UMS, group 1, 2, 3, and 5. Set B, UMS, groups 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so deadline July 10. This this one is for the sports grade 11 archery set A, groups 1, 3, and 5, set B, groups 2, 4, and 6. So, pwedeng sagutan sa yellow paper, just copy the table, or I can send the soft copy of this file sa GC natin para doon na lang kayo magsagot para mas malinis yung sagot nyo. This is for HE4, set A, groups 1, 3, and 5, set B, groups 2, 4, and 6. So again, pwedeng sa yellow paper, kopyahin na lang tong table, or I can send the soft copy of this para mas malinis yung sagot nyo. So this is by group, July 10 deadline. PT1 performance task by group, again, deadline July 10. So based on your understanding of this lecture discussion, you have to accomplish the research topic proposal. So ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na kayo naman yung mag-iisip, kayo naman yung magpo-propose ng research topic nyo. So I can send the soft copy of this again sa GC and then paki-type yung sagot para mas malinis. So tatlong topic po, tatlo po yan ang ipopropose nyo. Just in case ma-reject yung dalawa, at least meron pa tayong reserve. Okay, so this is July 10 as well. Now, if you have other questions, again, you may visit me sa faculty room 206, second floor, or you may message me directly via direct message sa messenger or during our classes. Thank you so much.